It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
A fine Saturday morning to the twos of you. I don't know what that was. Wow. That was just like morning diarrhea coming out of my mouth or something.
Good morning.
Oh, jeez.
And it just keeps coming.
Just shut up.
Good morning, and a fine Saturday matinee right back at you, Andy.
Thank you.
I realize nobody ever wishes you a fine Saturday morning. So.
That's right.
There
Always
you go.
wishing, never getting back.
Never getting back. Always a wisher, never a wished.
What's up? How's everything with you two?
Great. Yeah.
Good.
I did.
Yeah.
So I did. And I'll say this because I think it's coming out pretty soon in the next couple of weeks. So I did. You did your recently, Andy, your stint on Escape from New York Minute, and I just did my guest spot on the Escape from New York Movie by Minute podcast. And let me tell you, those are fun people. That was a really fun thing, and they are such good sports. They even went back to our shows in which we have talked about Escape from New York, and they came well researched on my particular opinions of the movie. Thank God, at some point I said, Escape from New York, quote, Andy, it's a terrible movie, but I get great joy from it. Like, on that, I rested my entire case for being on that show. So, no, it was really fun. They're great sports. We had a great time, and I think we had 3 great minutes to talk about of that movie.
You must have been right toward the end then.
It was the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I got the death of Cabby and the death of Brain.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I can't think of better minutes for a guy like me to get in that movie. And we got to talk about how dumb the minds are that actually are able to split taxis clear in 2, clean.
Like Herbie the Love Bug.
Exactly. So that was great fun. Be on the lookout for that if you're a Movie by Minute fan. If you're not, they're just good people. And so check that out, Escape from New York Minute. They're on, like, I think episode 72 just came out, and my minutes are like episode 85. So it's on the way. A couple weeks.
Yeah. That's a fun show. Good peeps.
Yeah. Good peeps. So I'm also working on my A24, not to monopolize the series. I've started A24.
Oh,
yeah.
Now,
well, I don't know.
Beginning?
So you know what I love so much about Canopy? I'm doing it over on Canopy. And what I love so much is they have that you go to the studio page and they actually have it broken up by genre within the studio page. So I've started with I don't even remember what I started with, but I've watched The Revenge of the Green Dragons, and that was not a good movie. And then Mojave, which was equally not a good movie. You guys, this is a rough start, but I know what's coming.
Well, why are you picking those out of A24? You're picking.
Well, if your goal is to watch them all, you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere.
Start with the crap and move your way up.
It is. And you know what's so funny about it? It's like I really get the feeling like as a production house, distribution house, like they're getting better at throwing money at better things over years. And so I'm excited about where I'm going, but it didn't start well. You guys, it didn't start well. It's good. It's rough.
Have either of you seen the what was the film that was the first one that they did with Bill Murray?
Bill Murray doing what?
Well, I went to Wikipedia to look, and they only list. Oh, here you go. List of A24 films. It's gotten so big they've started this whole new page for it. A Glimpse Inside the Mind of Charles Swan III. That was their very first release.
No, I haven't seen it.
Roman Coppola wrote and directed it. Charlie Sheen, Jason Schwartzman, Bill Murray, Catherine Winnick, Patricia Arquette.
Yeah.
That's I don't know if I heard many good things about that one, but I am curious, and I think I'll end up watching it at some point just because of the A24 label.
Yeah, no, you have to. I mean, we have to. I might watch that next.
Do you, though? Do you really?
You do.
Steve, you're not a completionist like we are.
No, I'm not.
It's too bad, Steve, that you
It
can't
breaks
join in that little bit of
hearts.
Really
it breaks our little wee hearts.
Yeah, because when you guys sit here, well, that was a waste of time. I'm thinking, well, you did that to yourself. There's plenty of other great things out there where you could be like, oh yeah. I mean, now Pete, you've seen like Free Fire. Did you watch Lean on
Right,
Pete?
yes.
JJ and I talked about that. That's
That
at
was a
24.
depressing
So
one.
you've probably got
It was a downer.
significant.
It was not. It was
significant chunk.
No.
Yeah.
So I imagine a glimpse inside the mind of Charles Swan, Charles Schwab.
Charles Swan.
I am.
Lots of
I
accounting.
imagine that's better. Yes. No, I'm in favor of that. I'll watch it for Aubrey Plaza. So,
Well, I did a little late 24 action last Sunday as well. I finally got around to Mississippi Grind, which had been on my list of things that people kept telling me to watch. So,
should someone get a patient zero for that? I forgot who.
No. I think my brother's been pushing it for a while.
Right.
So, now if one patient does not make for patient zero, come on, just because I watch something doesn't mean it's patient zero.
Okay.
If I watch it and then, trickle down effect and everybody's talking about it, then yeah.
Okay. All right.
But that was, I really, really enjoyed that. I did a whole binge on Sunday for some reason. I was trying to catch up on some things, and I was trying to backfill some things in case we do some flick chart re-ranking. So Kind Hearts and Cornets,
Yes.
Robin Hood, Men in Tights, which I have seen Robin Hood, Men in Tights, but probably not in 30 years. So revisiting that, and then also Short Term 12.
Yay.
So, yeah, it was
Glad you finally watched that one.
yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that movie so
such a
much.
great movie.
That's yeah.
Good stuff.
Apple signs a multi-year deal with, just guess. This is a director. I just want you, have you heard this news? A director of some renown. Apple's got him. Not usually a TV guy, but he has done several of our very favorite movies. I don't think you're going to be able to guess it.
No,
Is it?
One of them deals a lot with
I want to say Sam
weightlessness?
Raimi, but I don't know. I know he signed a deal
Alfonso
with somebody.
Cuarón.
Alfonso. That's right.
Cuarón.
There
Yes.
we go. Okay.
He is maintaining his existing deal with anonymous content, but he is so it's non-exclusive. But it is a multi-year deal to develop television products and projects and products, mostly projects, for Apple TV Plus coming next month. That's nice, right? They've got quite a stable. I report that not because Cuarón is anything different than the other fantastic talent that they have over there. It's just an amazing raft of talent that they are accumulating.
It really is. Yeah.
All buzzworthy.
I hope it ends up being buzzworthy once the product starts coming out. That'll be the big test.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. And we should, we'll know in weeks, less than weeks. November 1st, first things start to drop.
True.
So very exciting. And they've already announced in a related deal, I think For All Mankind has gotten a second season nod from Apple. Note, nobody has seen it. But they are working diligently, it is reported, to reduce the amount of time between seasons because it's a nascent network and they want to make sure that they have enough content constantly churned out. So these shows that are just about to launch, they're going to launch it sounds like 3 episodes on launch day and then weekly after that. So you get a little bit of a binge, but you're not going to get the Netflix season dump strategy, and then you should not have to wait very long to get next season. Certainly not a year before they start dropping season 2. So interesting strategies in streaming.
Wow. Okay. See, I mean, that whole season that just. How do you define that?
Yeah.
Instead of one season of 24 episodes, within this year, you're going to get 3 seasons of 8 episodes.
Right.
Like, well, what defines the season? It's sort of an artificial.
I'll tell you what defines the season. The budget.
What?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I guess production starts
Budgetary
and stops.
season 1.
Okay. So then when on network TV, they have breaks. So why isn't again, what defines that? They take a hiatus for whatever during the holidays and in the spring. So it's just, I don't know what defines it. And I love when I get a show and it's, it's easy. I can binge 13 seasons in 13 episodes in a season, but on Netflix, there's if I'm trying to catch up on a show there's 2 seasons, I'm like, well, now I'm just back to, it's an artifice, I think. Just give me a whole flow of episodes.
It's so much easier for production team to be able to go, okay, there, we finished this one. Let's budget this out and see. It's a lot trickier when you're going, okay, just keep the money coming, baby. Just keep it coming.
Yeah.
I know people want to do that.
Yeah.
But also people need breaks. It's all about that.
Well, and this is, but to Steve's point about artifice, like this, it's interesting that they are still calling it seasons, only because I have a better word for it on Apple, which is entirely funded by Apple right now. We have no sense of profitability. Like for traditional sort of terrestrial TV seasons, you do a season to see if the show is working and if it's profitable in the eyes of advertisers, and then you have budget to propose season 2, right? I mean, that's that's the initiative, is like, is this show making any money? And in the case of Apple, we have a situation in which they're launching this TV network with some incredibly high profile people. This is an enormously expensive launch, right? This is akin to like a startup aspirin company, right? I mean, it's just, you're competing in this massive market. You have to throw so much money at it. And for essentially the first year, it will be run as a nonprofit, because everyone who buys a new Apple device gets a year of Apple TV Plus. That means all the new back-to-school laptops, all the new iPads, iPhones. Like, my understanding is pretty much if you've spent any money at Apple, you get a year free of Apple TV Plus to check it out. So this will be run as a nonprofit, essentially, for an entire year before they start redeeming any incomes. They will be a stable player based on out-of-pocket cash from Apple. I find that fascinating.
It's a business
as a way to, as a way. It's a write-off.
Yes, it is.
It's an enormous write. It's just fascinating.
It's like Amazon, their hard drive storage, which they use all that money for all their development. So
for AWS profits.
So Apple Plus, that's November 1st, and then we've got Disney Plus. Less than 2 weeks later, November 12th. We got the whole Disney Plus. So everybody's, I guess, roll it out in November, get the bugs worked out so that by Christmas, when everybody gets their new Apple devices or new smart TVs or whatever, and they're loading up for the Disney Plus, hopefully they've got the bugs worked out and the systems don't crash, right?
It's going to be a mega streaming war battle starting now. It's like,
Here's my question, you guys. Are you, like, we're absolutely signing up for both Apple TV Plus, which we'll get, comped, and Disney Plus. And we are cutting a service because too many services. Are you kidding?
Okay, what are you cutting?
That's my question to you first. Are you cutting something in order to make room for new services?
I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, we actually put Netflix on hold and I think this was maybe it was a little bit farther back, because there were times when, or maybe it was Hulu during the summer we put on hold. But there was one where there have been several times where we thought, well, we're doing more Hulu in the fall. TV shows were going. And I think we put Netflix on a hold because they didn't have their original programming coming up as frequently. It was like Stranger Things and a couple of other things. We thought, well, and the movie catalog had diminished, so we put Netflix on hold for a while. I think we're talking about possibly doing that, mostly because not the Disney Plus thing, not the Apple Plus thing, but most likely we're going to do the CBS thing for Picard in January for that short time frame, and then maybe put something on hold for a month, maybe Netflix. We'll see. Because the thing with Netflix is, if it's original programming, it's going to be there when you bring it back. With Hulu, depending on if you're using it like we do for our network shows, there's some of them that some of them expire. So if you're not there and you're like, oh, well, I'm going to catch up on this. Oh, well, the first 5 episodes are gone because I waited too long.
That's right.
So we are, I'm not 100% on the Apple Plus. They haven't sold me on that. I've already a Hulu, commercial free subscriber. So I don't know. It's going to cost me just a couple extra bucks to get this Disney Plus and then the ESPN Plus in there. So that one's solid. Apple Plus, they haven't convinced me yet.
The interesting thing about Apple Plus is that they have only pitched, like really concretely pitched their original programming. But Tim Cook said in his launch that, or the most recent Apple event, that in it he used the words, I believe, in addition to all the other great content that you'd expect from a streaming service. So it makes me think when they launch, they're actually going to have some other content besides just the stuff that they're investing in. Because I have a hard time imagining, in this market, subscribing long-term to a streaming service for only their original content. Yeah. But it's interesting. Andy, what's your status I assume you're signing up for Disney Plus?
I already signed up for that. We don't have a lot. I mean, Netflix and Amazon is all we pay for right now. I constantly am tempted to sign up for HBO, but have yet to do so. I don't know. I probably will jump on to Apple and just give it a try. But, I think I'm going to turn into one of these people that is a, sign and dump sort of guy just when there's something I want to watch, because I definitely want to check out Picard also. And I think that's the way it's going to be. It's like there's a lot of different product out there that I'm interested in, but not enough on any of them that make me want to just fully commit, just constant monthly payments for something other than the ones I'm already using.
I think we're going to dump Netflix for a time while we test out these other ones. I'm definitely a sign and dump on HBO. I'm going to wait until His Dark Materials is completely released and out, and then subscribe for a month to binge that. It's one I'm really looking forward to. But there's, we weirdly, we get John Oliver on YouTube. So, we don't need to worry about that. So it's just interesting the way the market shakes out. I'm interested mostly in the impact that the Disney launch will have on Netflix. Hulu, I feel like, has so much of the TV, the currency, that that one is not in contention in my family. Hulu is just the one that's going to stick around because, how else are we going to watch our programs?
Well, their movie catalog, the quality there has increased gradually over the past couple of years, and there's lots. I think was it Sony, or I think it was Sony that bailed from Netflix and moved over to Hulu or something, because there's a lot of stuff that now, for the trailer rewind, there's stuff that's showing up first on Hulu. Mm-hmm. It's not like, it was on Netflix first and then contracts. It's Hulu's getting first shot at a lot of stuff. So now I'm finding more and more going to Hulu for things that I missed in theaters. And there's right now, what is it? Mission Impossible stuff is over. I think is Fallout. I think might be on Hulu right now. So Netflix. I love the original programming, but it seems like they're counting more and more on the sort of the buzzworthiness of their original programming to draw people versus we're getting these things from the theater first so you can see it here. They've sort of let that go, and I'm really curious to see if that model continues to be sustainable now with Apple Plus and with all the Disney moving over to the Hulu. What is it? Hulu, ESPN, National Geographic. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Service. Yeah.
Mega streaming.
Yes. Mega streaming.
Who posted this? Netflix is being sued over Soderbergh's Panama Papers movie, The Laundromat.
Yeah, that was an interesting little story, which I think The Laundromat just that just came out, right?
It just
premiered yesterday.
I think that just was.
So there were two partners in a now dissolved Panamanian law firm. They say that the film defames them, portraying them as ruthless, uncaring lawyers who are involved in criminal misconduct. It had closed after disclosures of its role in a global tax evasion earlier in the year, and now this is what they're saying. So it's interesting. I can't imagine this is going to get anywhere, but to me, it just seemed like a couple people who were involved in, some tax evasion problems, now trying to find a way to get money out of Netflix. I don't know. It really struck me as a funny story, and I feel like it's one of those things that's only going to help more people go watch that movie.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's just so ripe for a trailer rewind watch, that movie. We picked it for trailer pick, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, we did it. But I'm trying just the tone of that. It seems like it's, I don't know. How do you take that seriously when it seems like it's satirizing the whole thing in that Soderbergh style of just, this is a caricature of things? Because if you try to play this seriously, it's so tragic and sad. You have to take a comic spin to this. So for these guys to say, well, this is defaming us, like, well, number one, let's look at the facts. Secondly, I think everybody knows this falls well within the realm of, we're not expecting you to be these cartoonish characters. Mm-hmm. But again,
and it's based on a book, I believe. So why are they suing him or Netflix instead of the author? I don't know.
Because Netflix has deep pockets and the author doesn't. Right, yes. Right. Yeah.
Ah, well.
Somebody wanted to talk about Kanye.
I'm fascinated by this because of the Kanye-ness, but also this
the Kanye-ness.
Yes. No, the location of this thing, this Rodin crater is so I'm really intrigued and interested in going to check this film out because of that, because this is
the Rodin crater,
artistic Rodin crater, which is here in Arizona. It's not completed yet. It's a whole art installation about architecture and nature, and it's all designed so that it's certain celestial events, that the sun, the moon do all kinds of interesting things in interacting with the architecture. And so to go to see the movie, cost me it's one of these, live event type things or whatever. So maybe up to $20 for a ticket, but I don't know what it would cost to get into this place if it ever opens, when it opens.
Supposed to open in 5 years.
In 5 years. Yeah. So we got for me, it's the visuals on this look really, really fascinating. I'm not a big Kanye fan. He's quite the character. Speaking of cartoonish characters, he is one of those. But there's the visuals that I've seen out of the trailer and on the website for the crater there look fascinating. And to see it in IMAX, I think is just going to be one of these really unique experiences.
I have friends who worked on that, and they said that location is just mind-blowing. They said it was just one of the craziest things to go through. And you see that in the trailer. It just looks like this otherworldly cathedral that you're inside of. And it's inside this crater. Like from the cone of this crater, he's building this thing kind of underground, and it's supposed to be just absolutely amazing. They were just like in awe of this whole thing. They said it was a really amazing product to work on, especially when he brought in like this gospel choir to sing. And when you heard them inside, they were just like, wow, this is intense. So I'm curious to see it just for all of that. I think it will be interesting. Otherwise, I'm as interested in Kanye as you are.
Let's see. Any other news on the list? Exactly. Somebody wanted to talk about a company that'll pay you $1,000 to watch 30 Disney movies in 30 days.
Well, this is for Andy, because I thought this is your side hustle, because I think you're already doing this. But what is it? Reviews.org is looking for the ultimate Disney fanatic to watch 30 Disney movies in 30 days, and you get paid $1,000 to do it. And I thought, Andy, you get paid to do what you're already doing. Why would you not apply for this thing?
There was I can't remember what it was. I feel like somebody had a similar thing when probably Infinity War was coming out, where they were going to have you watch all of the Marvel films over like, 5-day period or something. But there's always a catch with these silly sorts of things, because of one, the amount of money they pay you for the amount of work you have to do is just nonsense. It's like perfect for a college kid or something. But two, it's like, it's very social media oriented, because they expect you to tweet the entire time, and you need to be posting live streams all the time. And it's just, and I mean, I honestly haven't looked into this Disney one. I'm just I looked into the other ones to go, well, what are they actually requiring? And this is what it is. And I'm guessing that this is the same sort of thing. It's so much work to do these silly things, but somebody will do it, I'm sure.
That's right. Yes, but you get a bunch of Disney swag. Oh, yeah.
And $1,000.
30 movies and 30. I know. Hey, for 30 movies, you're watching those already anyway. But you're right. It's the other piece. It's the live tweeting. It's all of that stuff that you're not getting paid to sit there and watch. You're getting paid to sit there and create content for them. For $1,000 for a month. So I don't know. You break that down hourly based on the number of movies you're watching. And what are you at? Minimum wage, maybe?
You're a little more. You're more than minimum wage, but still, then you take all the time you're putting into social media and all that sort of stuff. It probably ends up being less than minimum wage.
There we are.
Last thing I just want to note, and only for the show notes, is the Never Surrender documentary. The Galaxy Quest documentary from the folks at Screen Junkies and Honest Trailers and Fandom. It just looks so good that I'm dropping the trailer link in the show notes if you haven't seen it, because I gather it's coming soon.
It's one day only. This is one of the things. So this is one of these things where I thought, well, okay, so it's one day only.
November 26th.
That's it. Yes, right before Thanksgiving. So go take the family. Which watching the trailer, I'm fascinated because I've always wondered about this film because of the Tony Shalhoub character with his always munching on the French fries. And I'm like, what's going on with this character? And just in the clip from the trailer for this, where they talk about, well, they then decided the studio wanted them to cut it down to make it family friendly. So they've got that one clip with Sigourney Weaver dropping an F-bomb. And I thought that's the version of the movie I want to see, not the one that was sort of, toned down for families, because I want to see some of that other footage. But I wonder why this distribution model on something like this. Why roll it out, forcing people to drop, what is it? Here's $16.29 to go see this movie at this one time. Is it then never going to be available?
Yeah.
Is it what's going to happen? Because this just baffles me as to question the quality of this. If this is the way we roll it out, you got to see it once and that's it. So if you don't count on any reviews, because you'll just be hoping to get a chance to see it on this one day at this one time only.
That's right. And that day is November 26th. And it will probably be embroiled
You'll be there.
in Thanksgiving.
You'll be there,
well, I don't know. I would like to, but it's one of those things. The timing is pretty lousy for us. But I definitely, it's a movie that I'm super curious about. So I'll post the link in there if you're interested. If somebody goes out to see it, please let us know if we can't make it.
I'd like to think that they will release it later. It's just, this is probably a way to try to get a bit more money right out of the gate. So,
yeah.
We'll see. I'm curious, but there's no way I'm going to make it out November 26th.
Are we going to do a little flick charting?
Sure.
We got to jump into our flickchart.com/the next reel, and we are going to re-rank 10 sets of films. And Steve, you are here to hopefully give us thoughts if you've seen the movies. So I guess we'll see where we get today. All right, first up, we have one of our recent series, Rabid versus Stripes.
What a great pair. Stripes.
Really?
Oh, really?
I'm going to say Rabid. I didn't grow up with Stripes. I never really cared about the movie. I think it's okay.
Oh, geez.
It's okay, but I'm going to say Rabid.
Oh, I haven't seen Rabid. I haven't had a chance to get to Rabid yet, because again, I'm not the big Cronenberg fan.
Steve.
So yeah, I know. So what? It stands. Just leave it as it stands, right?
No, we have to rock, paper, scissors it.
Oh, because you may not have. That's right. You may not have come across this ranking previously. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. Scissors.
Paper.
Rock. Stripes wins. And Stripes went from 377 to 315.
There you go.
So you know what? That's an interesting little connection there. You got Bill Murray and rabid zombies, and you cut those together. You know what you get?
Zombieland.
Yeah. There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Wild Tales or Rocky IV. I'm saying Wild Tales. I'm guessing you haven't
What
seen
is Wild Tales?
That answered my question.
I don't know. What is that?
It was from
I've
our
never heard of
Ricardo
it.
Darin
What's
series. It was
Oh, yeah. That's not anything that I'm rushing out to. I know.
shame on you. This was an Oscar nominee for Best Foreign Film. It was so good.
Yeah, it was. I'm going to go with Wild Tales too. Wild Tales.
All right, Wild Tales again or Boogie Nights?
Boogie Nights.
I'll say Boogie Nights. Detroit or Star Trek Beyond? Definitely going with Star Trek here.
Yeah. Although, wait a minute.
Detroit?
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah, that was the one that you were just so
I know, but it's Star
categorically
Trek.
wrong on around
Yeah,
every corner.
It's too late.
Like,
You already said
but it's
yeah, and I
Star
already
Trek.
clicked it. I hear positive affirmation. I'm moving on.
Okay.
Are you wanting to change your pick
No,
there?
I'm not. I don't want to. No,
You
it's
just
fine.
wanted to say Detroit was so good.
All right. You
I
stopped
enjoyed
that
Detroit.
little dance. That was
Yeah.
enough.
All right, next up, Barton Fink or L.A. Confidential?
LA Confidential.
L.A. Confidential. Oh, Barton Fink is so good.
It is. It's so good.
Yeah. So why is it not Barton Fink over
Because
LA
LA
Confidential.
Confidential is so good.
It's even better. Yes.
It's better. It's gooder.
No.
Yeah.
No.
In the Mood for Love or Marty?
Oh, sweet, sweet In the Mood for Love. Please click and
Yes,
move
In the
on.
Mood for Love. These are all holding steady. Drive or The Matrix? Ooh, I'm going to say The Matrix.
Yeah, The Matrix, but that's a hard one.
Drive's a good one.
Yeah.
Held steady at 57. Contagion or Labor Day? We'll say Contagion.
Contagion.
Contagion held steady at 121. Star Trek The
Labor
Motion
Day.
Picture or Time Bandits? Oh, definitely Time Bandits.
Ow.
No.
Really?
Time Bandits, Pete. Come on.
I mean, okay.
Time Bandits.
I know.
Dude, come on.
I know. It's Time
Unless-
Bandits,
I mean,
but it
you
was
may
just
be
so
a
easy.
fan.
It was so fast.
Yes,
That's so
because
fast.
oh no, there's-
It's
no,
fine.
because
it's fine.
20 minutes of
Time
a slow
Bandits.
tracking shot of the Enterprise just doesn't
It
do
was
it for me.
14
You may
minutes
get a-
long.
It's a good movie, but
Yeah.
Time Bandits, it's Time Bandits.
It's
Time Bandits held
right,
steady
yeah.
at 45. The Crazies or Black Hawk Down? I would definitely go with Black Hawk Down.
Black Hawk Down. Yeah.
You were so fast on that one, Pete.
yeah.
Ocean's 8 or Escape from New York? Hey, Pete, you just watched that again.
I'm Ocean's 8. But I will say loving things about Escape from New York because apparently people listen to this.
I am going to say Escape from New York.
You are?
Steve?
Yes, I'm going to say Escape from New York. It's been a while since I've seen
All
it,
right.
but it's Escape from New
All
York.
right, look at that.
Look at that. It finally worked.
I feel
I
great.
feel like
about
how long
that
have we
worked
been
out.
doing this? And this was the first time I think that it actually.
I know.
Well, I don't know. We could talk 2001.
That's right,
we
that's
could do
right.
that as well.
Escape from New York went from 370 to 307.
Okay, so it's not
Mhm.
Yeah.
earth-shattering changes. It's still right
It
where
uses
should
the
be.
same digits.
Yeah.
I've totally lost track, so we'll call this the last one. Star Trek Beyond or Kundun? We'll say Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah, Star Trek.
Kundun's pretty good, though. And that held steady at 208. All right. We had a couple
Outstanding.
shifts. A
Look
couple
at that.
shifts.
Yeah,
in
there were
there,
a couple little shifts.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let's do trailers.
Who's first?
Steve's up
Any
first.
A24s? Any rules? Steve's first.
Oh, no rules? Nobody had this. It was tough to find something for me because, well, we'll talk about what you guys picked. So I had to find something that I felt like feels like Trailer Rewind territory. And I came up with this little film. It's releasing November 1st. Ethan Hawke. It's one of these little small Ethan Hawke projects, a story about an ex-felon discovering a live baby left in a dumpster. What was intriguing to me about this is not only Ethan Hawke and this weird story, but it's written and directed by Logan Marshall Green, who we've talked about several
Prometheus.
other
That's the main one.
yes,
I believe.
Prometheus, the main one, but I guess we haven't talked about The Invitation, but that was another
so
film
good,
I
yeah.
really enjoyed seeing him in. Yes, exactly. So I'm really intrigued to see what he pulls together on this one. Short film. It says a runtime of 1 hour and 18 minutes, but I love just sort of the character focus on this. I don't know if it has I don't want to say supernatural element to it, but it just seems very odd. There's something in the tone that just makes this maybe allegorical, metaphorical or something with just finding this live baby and this guy just going on like a road trip with a baby. I don't know. Something unusual about this that drew me in. And I love me some Ethan Hawke. So
it could be that Blumhouse is behind it. That might be why you think that there must be something supernatural in here. Where are you? It's the
baby. Yes, exactly. That probably was it too. Because I thought, oh, okay, Blumhouse. Oh, Ethan Hawke, felony gets out, and all of a sudden there's a baby crying in a dumpster. And I thought, is this a supernatural baby? Is it going to start levitating? What is it going to start doing? Yes, I don't know.
This struck me as a really kind of weirdly, we're talking about Lean on Pete earlier, and this kind of ended up for me having a Lean on Pete feel to it, which I thought was pretty interesting. I'm curious about this one. I always love Ethan Hawke. And man, this guy is always busy, as we have pointed out in many trailers that we've discussed of his over the years. And he is always good. I mean, you look at what he just did with his performance in the where he was the priest. Was that last year? And, you know, all the award nominations, and everything he got. I mean, he's always great. And this looks like another really just a potentially powerful performance from him. And I'm so surprised that Logan Marshall Green all of a sudden has turned to directing, and this is what he brings, because I think it looks great. So I'm really curious about this one.
I am too. I think the only thing I would add is that it's just piling on the performance from Ethan Hawke. I mean, you could just tell in this trailer he's done an exceptional job of making himself look small, and I just from when he's getting out of the prison and he's got kind of making his way he's on the bus and he's just shrinking and he just looks like a much smaller man. I can't wait to see what he does with this character. I'm sort of more interested than the potential supernatural Blumhouse-y stuff. I'm just really curious about what this means for him as another performer. He's just one of those guys he's getting better and better as he ages. Like he's going to be one of those.
November 1st, we'll see what happens.
Excellent.
All right, Andy,
which one am I getting?
Which one are you going to let
me go with? You know which one I want to go with. Are you guys okay if I go with that one?
Yeah, that's fine. Have we done a
miniseries trailer before?
Deep in the archives, there have been times when there's not much out there, and there's times I think we've done a couple things because we've done trying to figure out what it was. I'd have to go back in, but I think there were a couple times we've done something that's either been a TV show or series once or twice. And this is again, when we talk about the models of how we structure entertainment. Throw it out there.
Well, because the other trailer I picked is awfully good too, and that's why I'm kind of torn on my choices. But I will go because of my recent fetish with Stephen King and reading all of his books and watching the adaptations of them. I saw the trailer for the new miniseries on HBO that's coming out in January, called The Outsider, and that got me very excited because of just all of that. But then you also have Jason Bateman in there. You have Ben Mendelsohn in there. You have a really interesting story about a man who is arrested, kind of just a regular Joe Schmo. He, everybody in town loves him. He's coaching the Little League team, and then in the middle of the Little League game, police show up to arrest him for the murder and like the horrible, torture or whatever it is of a young boy. And that's Jason Bateman. And then, it looks like kind of a crime thriller. So I haven't read this book. It's one of Stephen King's more recent books from just last year. And so I'm really curious about it. And I don't know enough about the characters here, but I guess one of the characters was in the Mr. Mercedes series that he had also done. Holly Gibney was in that trilogy of novels. And now pops up here. And so I'm really curious about this other kind of, set of stories that King has told and what's going to be happening here. But just everything about this looks really intriguing. I'm curious to see kind of where it's going to go and how it's going to play out. But from what I can tell, it's a 10 episode miniseries that will be premiering on HBO January 12th, 2020. What do you guys think?
I love me some Stephen King. I have not. It's impossible to keep up with him and reading it. And so I haven't, anything within the last decade. I don't think I've probably read, but I enjoy the way he reaches into new genres with this one, or with like these detective series. I think the cast looks really good. Why is it a miniseries? Why isn't it just a series? I guess because it has a beginning and end that makes it a miniseries. Yeah. So I don't. Again, we're just
that's miniseries.
Names,
I think technically it's designed to have a run and then end.
It's a long movie.
Yeah.
It's a long movie. Yeah, well, because Stephen King writes a long book. This is 560 pages. So, yeah, what I love about this is, to me, this is being respectful of the source material and giving time to the story rather than trying to condense this down into, 2 hours or so. So giving this, the characters, the story, time to breathe over this many episodes. I look forward to this. And I think that's been the challenge with some of King's other work that's been adapted is you try to squeeze it into these, 90-minute movies, and you've got to cut so much stuff of what makes his work rewarding, which is the character pieces. So yeah, and
all
right, now I got to add HBO.
Yeah, right. See, and we're in a place where all of these different sources are starting to do these longer Stephen King adaptations, which is great because, I mean, I was thrilled in the 90s when TV networks started doing that with Stephen King's stories. But by nature of them being, sanctioned FCC TV networks, they had a lot of restrictions as far as what they could and couldn't show. And so they really had to water down to a certain extent. The Stand, The Shining, any of those big miniseries that came out on TV in that period of time. So it's great that there are these other sources now doing that can actually give us more and kind of fuller versions of these stories.
Yeah, I am right with you. I'm super curious about this. This is a sequel to The Lawnmower Man, right? I like that one a lot.
Everybody's favorite. All right. Well, that's
everybody's favorite joke.
That's coming out January 20th on HBO. That's when it will start. So check it out, folks. All right, Pete, what's yours?
My trailer, just briefly, we've talked about this. It was in our sequels and remakes segment of our Rabid show just recently. And here it is. I feel like this is trailer coercion. That, of course, somebody had to pick this trailer. And you guys, we were in a line, and then you guys backed up, and that left me picking this trailer. It is the Rabid 2019 trailer, directed and co-written by Jen and Sylvia Soska. What they say here is that it is it's a continuation of the thoughts and conversation from the original film and modernized through a female perspective. And so there you go. I love me some Laura Vandervoort. I think she's fantastic, cast as Principal Rose. I don't see any of the underarm proboscis in the trailer. That has not been revealed. If it exists, I wonder if it is something, the poster, we get some interesting things, or they do a lot more sort of gruesomeness about her face. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if something's on her back. I don't know what's going on with that. But she looks great. There's a lot of crazies eating one another, I guess. Rest of the cast, Ben Hollingsworth is in it, Phil Brooks is in it, and co-written by the Soskas and John Surge. It's a remake of Cronenberg. What are you going to do? What did you guys do? Were you jumping out of bed thinking, I can't wait to see the Rabid remake on this trailer?
We talked about it during the show. I just looking at the Soska sisters' other work, I'm like, I don't know if I need to watch any of their movies. I'm curious about this one, but I don't know. I don't know what angle they're going with it. So but it piques my curiosity. But that might be where it ends.
The names sounded familiar. I couldn't remember why. And then was it 2 weeks ago? Our list was medical stuff gone wrong, and one of their films kept showing up in a lot of lists, which is their film American Mary, which is like a student that gets hired to do some plastic surgery stuff. So they seem to operate sort of in that Roger Corman area. I read a little bit of their bio to sort of understand what their approach is, and they're very much out of that. I guess they got started really guerrilla style shooting, like basically Robert Rodriguez, we're just going to put this thing together as fast as we can, as cheap as we can. And I think you see that in the trailer, but they've got their following.
Yeah.
So there's an audience out there for this type of thing. It's not my type of thing. Like I said, nothing's drawing me to see the Cronenberg one. I don't know what would push me to see this one.
That's a good point. Yeah, I wonder where this fits in the Cronenberg fandom archive. It is distributed by Shout Studios and what is sure to be our next favorite distribution house, A71 Entertainment.
Oh, that's great.
There you go.
Yeah. I saw this and said, no, I'll just watch Raw again. That's what I'll do if I want that. Yeah.
Release date, it hit Fright Fest August 26, 2019. I don't, do you guys see a more accurate
I don't think anyone's worried.
Okay. All right. Well, we got lists.
Let's do our
Evil
list.
Corporations list.
Evil Corporations from our film this week, which is funny because Fast Company, it's not exactly like an evil corporation, like I'm sure some of the corporations on our lists. But
well, especially because there is such a brilliant evil corporation in the movie we're going to be talking about next week.
yes, so true.
So it hurts me a little bit that we're a little bit premature.
Oh well.
So
All right,
well.
Steve, kick it off.
All right. I have two lists because I've got evil corporations like over here, like for Halloween, October-y thing. And then I've got actual more serious, and I'm going to go that route. Tried to avoid franchises. So I'm going to cut those out of my list as well. So I'm going to start with, and again, it's not evil. It's just corporations sometimes end up being bad. It's so bad that it's tragic that you have to laugh at it in Office Space. in a tech. Horrible corporation. I don't know that they're evil. They're just not good for people.
Not effective.
they're all bad. They're all ineffective. Initech, Intertrode, any company mentioned in Office Space is bad.
I would argue even the what's the fast food restaurant, or not the restaurant chain where Aniston works. You could even argue that place is with all of its
with the flair. Totally.
With the flair,
you're just going to end up there. All right. Well, for my first pick, I felt like I needed to go with this documentary called The Corporation from 2003. It's a Canadian documentary, fitting for Cronenberg. But this is really an interesting look. It's not a great, well-made film, but it's a really interesting story about corporations and how corporations kind of became legal entities, and really kind of it looks at how it defines kind of what is it? It defines like a lunatic or something like that, and like all of the points of the definition basically fit exactly what a corporation is, which is it's a really interesting look into it, and it's frightening because this is kind of the entity that has kind of basically been created and now is kind of running the world, these corporations. So it's a really interesting look into all of this sort of stuff. If you want to get into evil corporations, just check this documentary out and you'll be afraid of them all. The Corporation.
Outstanding. I can't believe, both of those are fine picks. I cannot believe that I have even been allowed to get this far in our list without having this already pre-stolen. Sometimes I too was fascinated by this idea that sometimes corporation movies, their intent is not inherently evil, but the consequences of their actions lead to evilness. And in this case, the consequences of monopolization lead to a trash-covered wasteland of a planet. I am talking, of course, about By and Large from Wall-E. It's not a company that intended to be evil, and yet they ended up doing things that literally destroyed the planet.
That was a good one. That was a steal.
Yes.
Good choice.
Outstanding. I got one. Yes.
All right, my second pick, I'm picking on a real live corporation, one that's actually been in the news lately. If you've been paying attention to what's going on in California, but if we're going to talk about movies that have these evil corporations, we're going to pick on PG&E and Aaron Brockovich.
Ah.
Oh, that's great.
Because that's, again, here I want to say maybe, not evil on the surface, but clearly you get into the inner workings and there's some bad actors in place taking advantage of people. doing the wrong thing.
Wow.
Great movie, great pick. And my next choice is pretty much in line with that one because mine is also based on a true story about somebody who is a whistleblower and goes after a large corporation. In this particular case, it is The Insider, Michael Mann's film with Al Pacino and Russell Crowe, going after big tobacco.
One.
And wow, anyone who has problems with Russell Crowe and his acting should check this film out. It's just a really powerful film with some top-notch performances. Everything about this film worked for me. And it's one that I don't think people talk about enough. So definitely people need to go back and check out The Insider.
That's a great pick. That was not a direct steal, but it's on my backup list. So you were close, man. You were close.
All right.
My second is you guys went with these real companies, and I went with a company that might as well be real. This is a Japanese pharmaceutical company, and they have a lot of patents. And just like many pharmaceutical companies, they zealously protect those patents. In this case, they send out assassins to anyone that they suspect threatening their secrets. And they also, speaking of the diseases that they're patenting the cures for, they're not really curing diseases. They're just like dangling them out. Well, that sounds like what we think of pharmaceutical companies doing now. And that's why everybody loves Johnny Mnemonic and Pharmacom Industries. That is a deep cut guilty pleasure of mine. When he upgrades his brain with more storage, I was all in, you guys, all in. And the guy with the laser, like the mini lightsaber on his thumb, the lightsaber rope. Give me one of those. How useful is that? I don't even remember anything about the movie because I was so blitzed by some of the technological whiz-bang stuff in it. I know people think it's terrible. I think those people need to be quiet.
I have never seen it.
What?
It looks terrible. All the reviews said it was terrible, so I skipped it.
Oh, see, I saw that in the theater.
Me too, many times.
So I saw that in the theater, and what year was that? Because it was just because then there was this other, Keanu Reeves sci-fi movie coming out. We're like, oh, is this going to be another Johnny Mnemonic? Oh no, it's The Matrix.
Going to be another Johnny Mnemonic. It's 1995, and that's all you need to know.
Yeah. Yes.
Looks like it. Sometimes, Andy looks like a duck. Walks like a duck. It's a swan.
Wow. Okay.
That is Johnny Mnemonic, 1995.
I don't know if I'll be able to call you Patient Zero, but if I do watch it, I'll give you the moniker anyway.
Oh, it's a painful one.
I own it. I own that. Everything you want to talk about.
You own your guilty pleasure. You
pleasure.
should. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Okay. All right. My final pick. This is one that I don't know that I've picked this before, but it's one that whenever I get an opportunity to talk about this movie, I want to refer people to it because I am just a huge fan of Tony Gilroy. George Clooney is amazing in this. I can't believe it's been 12 years since Michael Clayton was in theaters, but just such just an amazing film dealing with, corporations, again, not being held accountable. And it's not so much the story about the company, but it is about the company. There's so many great things going on, Michael Clayton. If you have not seen it, you need to go out and get this one right now.
Such a great movie.
Pick.
That was definitely going to be on my list, but I ended up going with another Tony Gilroy film, which
okay.
I think has just as much fun to say about evil corporations. It is Duplicity with Clive Owen and Julia Roberts.
Yes.
Man, do I love this movie. It takes the seriousness of Michael Clayton and turns it on his head. It is a really fun time as pretty much everyone is kind of working against each other here. But my favorite has to be the pairing of the two CEOs, the Burkett and Randall CEO, Howard Tully, played by Tom Wilkinson, and the Equicrom CEO, Dick Garsick, played by Paul Giamatti. And the way the film starts with the two of them in slow-mo, coming at each other on the tarmac of an airport.
Yes.
They just start going at each other.
Gosh.
But yeah, these are two great corporations, and just the evils that they do, trying to plot and steal each other's ideas and everything. Just a fantastic film. So Duplicity, that's my final pick.
Thank you for putting that one on there. Yes.
Oh, you guys, all your picks are so like conscious and woke.
Yes.
My final pick, I'm going with another one that I thought would have been, it's so obvious it would have been stolen, and it's on my mind because we've been talking about it a little bit in Discord, and that is what happens when a company gets so big that it actually is able to get not just an interest, but a controlling interest in the military. You know that feeling when the alarm goes off and you have to wake up early because you have to go visit a planet with some life on it that is unknown? Well, that's what happens when Weyland-Yutani Corporation calls you and makes you go check out the facehuggers. This is in the Alien franchise. Weyland-Yutani is one of those companies that, just their intentions maybe when they were a startup we're okay, and eventually they end up trying to harvest aliens for a space-bound super race of war creatures. What are you going to do?
I didn't know you were going to be the one picking something from shows we've done in the past. But
I know.
I will let you do that
it.
if you say that it's from Alien versus Predator.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I can take that.
There you go.
Yep. I broke the rule.
Excellent. Well, those are some good choices.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do next week for our poll?
Yeah. What do we got? What are we talking? What are you talking about next week?
We're talking about The Brood. We've already done Evil Children in the past. We had a whole series on.
Man,
on
I forgot that we're a week off, and I should have done Spectacular Optical Corporation. Nuts.
You could have.
Okay, bonus pick. Spectacular Optical. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I had RoboCop and Jurassic Park as some other good choices.
Oh, yeah. No, what was RoboCop? Omnicorp?
RoboCop was it? Yeah. I didn't write down the corporation names.
Umbrella Corporation was next on my list.
Well,
that was like, that's a company that was just evil from the beginning. Like, there were no good intentions.
It was always
around
a bad
the Umbrella
company,
Corporation.
right.
It was always bad. All right, so The Brood.
Yeah,
what'd you have to?
Yeah, The Brood. Oh, I was going to say my Halloween trilogy of Halloween 3 with the Silver Shamrock Company.
Right.
Nether Beast Incorporated.
Hey, they're not evil.
Yes. They're just vampires. And the Belko Experiment. So those are my horror trilogy of bad companies.
Oh, what was the company behind Cabin in the Woods? That was so good.
They're trying to save the world, Pete.
Yeah. Well, they're not evil. They're saving the world. They're not evil. They're saving the world.
See? Good intentions gone bad.
Yes, right.
All right. Is that fit in with The Brood? Are there good intentions gone bad?
What do we have? We have classroom
So
murder.
good.
No, I don't want to go down that road.
Yeah, please.
What am I thinking?
Well, there is something to this, like doing a series where they make kids shoot scenes that really kids should not be involved shooting scenes. Like one of the worst things that directors put kids through.
Oh,
traumatized child actors. That is my contribution for this week.
Okay, I will not write that one down. So what's next? Let's see. We have
well, you wouldn't call it like genetic offspring, right?
How about
clones?
How about crazy birth scenes?
Okay, crazy birth scenes. Weird.
Crazy birth
I don't know
scenes.
if there's that big of a list right there. But
I don't know. Yeah. Dark.
Yeah. We could do something about mothers. I feel like we have to do something crazy mothers.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Crazy movie moms. I like it.
Crazy movie moms. Okay.
And divorce films. This is Kramer versus Kramer.
It is Kramer versus Kramer. But what about best movie therapists?
Oh, therapists.
Okay. Or therapy scenes. Do you want to do the therapist or therapy scenes?
Therapy scene.
I like therapy scenes because I already have a pick.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so crazy birth scenes, crazy movie moms, and therapy scenes. That's a pretty good. That gives us some good options for this movie.
Yeah,
it's already posted. I can't edit it.
Nope.
Traumatic children.
Traumatized
right on
children.
It,
right there.
I'm going quick.
All right. Good pick. Good picks. Good list. Nice work, everybody.
Happy Saturday.
All right.
Good job, live stream.
Happy Saturday.
You're the best.
Yeah.
Thanks, Patreons.
And-
all that.
We gotta go.
Patreons.
We love you. Thank you for supporting us. If you're watching this live on Monday, if you were a patron at patreon.com/thenextreel or thenextreel.com/Patreon, either one, you would be getting this on Saturday when it's actually a Saturday matinee. That's what we want to talk about. And so we thank you for those of you who have already done it. Thanks for supporting the show and helping us keep doing what we're doing. We love you so much. And also, I got to go watch Zombieland because we're doing a show on that tonight.
Ooh.
And if you were a patron, you could actually watch us live stream that, which would be fun. So there you go.
With some
That's it. Thanks,
guests, right?
We have one guest who's
guest.
joining us. The other one will not have seen the movie yet, but we definitely have a new guest. I'm very excited to introduce Jordan Peterson from Nerd Critic. Will be joining us tonight to sit in on the show and hope to get he and his partner back on in somewhat regular rotation. They're fantastic guys, and it's great to do crossover episodes with them to have them sit in on the film board. So it'll be fun.
Awesome.
That's it. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Hondo.